Hi guys, Invisigoth back here with ya. I am recording a commentary after the fact for this speedrun attempt. And the speedrun attempt itself, I wanted to focus entirely on getting through the game as quickly as possible. And I've already talked a little bit about the fact that I didn't get through nearly as quickly as I would have liked even then. But I did want to provide a little bit of commentary talking about some of the issues that I was up against and sort of doing an analysis of what went well and what didn't work. You can see back there just now I discovered where the still pool of lava was. I had heard it earlier, popped down some torches, which in retrospect was kind of dangerous. If you could see how that sand fell, when I got to a certain point, a lot of the sand collapsed, and the last thing you want is sand collapsing and dropping you into lava. The old sand floating in the air, just waiting for you to do a block update nearby. And a torch is a block update. So be careful. That shit'll kill you. So anyway, now I have some lava. So if I get a bucket of water, I could make a portal. No problem. So at this point, I was kind of back and forth. I could make a portal and go straight to the nether. That would have been one good way to use, what is this now, day 4? But I was so far in and I really needed more iron anyway, so I figured I would just keep digging for a little while. Calculated risk. You may have done things differently if this was your game, but this is what I chose on the spot, and I think it turned out okay, honestly. But once again, different people are going to have different tactics and techniques, and if you have a better idea, then by all means, do a speedrun, post a video, post it as a reply to my series. I would love to see any speedruns for Minecraft. I would love to see people using different techniques and being more successful with those techniques. That's kind of what this is all about. Getting more people interested and involved and playing the game and trying to find creative solutions to these problems that I'm talking about. So more power to you. Let's see. What were the rules? I guess I probably have the rules printed in the description here, but I'll just tell you what they are. The rules were vanilla Minecraft, no mods, no texture packs, no nothing. I did see an older attempt at a hardcore speedrun on vanilla. I think it was a younger guy playing through like version 1.2.4 or something. And he did a great speed run, and he obviously knew what he was doing, and he's a good player. But as it turned out, he was using a weird texture pack that removed the... when you wear a pumpkin as a helmet, Enderman won't attack you. And so you can use that very effectively in the end to not have to worry about the Enderman. Unfortunately, this texture pack that this guy was using... remove the peripheral vision blockage that a pumpkin normally does. It normally, blocks like over half the screen, I think. And all you can really see out of are like the little eye holes and the little mouth hole. So this guy had sort of and I think it's pretty clear he did it accidentally. He had been using the texture pack for a while and just didn't think about it, but he was wearing it when he was fighting the dragon and not having to worry about the Enderman and being able to see fully where the dragon is and what's going on, that's a pretty substantial advantage from where I'm sitting. So I think that guy did a great job and he worked really hard on it, but I don't know that I'd consider that to be really a vanilla playthrough, a vanilla speedrun. And that's just my own opinion. Different people will probably have different opinions on that, but I didn't think... if I did that, I wouldn't feel that was really exactly what we were talking about there. So I would definitely have to redo that. That's just me again. I don't know. But anyway, for me, no texture packs, no nothing. I just wanted to make sure that people knew that this is Minecraft straight out of the box. I have no advantages that anybody playing for the first time wouldn't have, other than some knowledge. So again, Minecraft 1.5.2. We have a horse update that's in the works now, but it's not quite done, and it even sounds like it may have some quirks to work out yet. So, and simultaneously, or in parallel, I guess, I'm also recording a Let's Play of Vanilla Minecraft, not a speed run, but just playing through the game. I'm calling that one a power run because instead of trying to get through the game quickly and skipping a bunch of stuff, I'm actually going in and getting all the stuff. I'm getting enchantment as early as I can. I'm getting my 15 bookcases as early as I can. I'm getting brewing. I'm going to the nether and getting a fortress and grinding blazes and locating the stronghold and basically doing everything in the game, setting up a base. Oh, and I'm doing the whole villager economy thing. I find a village, I build it up to the point where I can trade anything I want. I think I'm at the point now where I have at least a stack of emeralds and could probably grab another stack or two if I wanted to. There's really no point at this point. And on top of everything else, what I'll be doing in that power run is once I get ready to go to the end, what I'm actually going to do is grab a bunch of stuff and put it in an ender chest and then try and go to the end, and instead of going from the platform up to the floating island and killing the dragon, I'm actually going to be going away from the island and seeing if I can avoid the dragon and leave the dragon alive for a while. And then I'll set up a little base there and build an Enderman grinder, and it'll be kind of cool watching the dragon flying around outside of my living room window. I tried doing that once, and I was kind of hot dogging it, and ended up doing something stupid and died and lost a bunch of stuff. With an ender chest, it's not possible for me to lose anything important. So that should be interesting. I don't know if anyone's really done that as such. And I've seen, for instance, I think it was Etho did that in one of his videos. But he was doing the thing where you just sort of, jump off and go back to the overworld and grab some stuff and come back in. I want to do this in one life. I want to literally not die in the end at all, and set up a little base and an Enderman grinder. And then once I've sort of done that and gotten some experience, I'll take an enchanting table and enchant a bunch of stuff, because that's going to be a great grinder for XP. So I'll enchant the crap out of some stuff. I'll take at least a stack of diamonds, and probably more than a stack, and just enchant everything I can think of, and then bring all the good stuff back. Kill the dragon and do all that jazz and bring the good stuff back to my base. So anyway, it's a playthrough. It's a Let's Play. But it's kind of I don't know. I might call it an experienced Let's Play. A Let's Play for advanced players, maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't pretend to be an expert on all these things, but I certainly do have some experience. I've probably got about 1,000 hours in Minecraft by now, so that's substantial. And so anyway, got my diamonds here, getting my stuff and basically vacating. I've got my diamonds, I've got enough iron. I'll probably pick up some more iron along the way. I mean, if you really want to poke your head in the occasional cave, you're going to find 4, 6, 8 diamonds here and there. It's not hard to get another, say, 30 iron ingots if you would like to. So that can be done. So yeah, we are, I think, getting towards the end of day 4. We've had about an hour and 9 minutes of gameplay total. And so I'm getting these ready. The one thing I'm still missing is the obsidian, but I know where to get that. I don't even think I have a bucket yet. That'll probably be the next thing I throw together here. Get rid of the crap I don't need. Another thing that I do in this speed run that I think a lot of people wouldn't do is I make a map and then I zoom it out fully. And the reason I do that is very simple. The stronghold, well, the 3 strongholds that spawn in on every world are spawned in very specific locations. And if you know how that works, then you can find them much more easily and save yourself a few Eyes of Ender. Like I was saying, Eyes of Ender are going to be at a premium, so I don't want to waste any I don't have to. So a little bit of knowledge is worth it. Excuse me. I have a little bit of a cold, so I apologize. Getting 4 iron and 1 redstone, and then grabbing a bunch of reeds to make a map, a 4x zoom map, is really no big deal compared to getting an extra, say, 2 Eyes of Ender, or even 1, really. So, that's another part of my plan, is getting a map. Now, I'll just go ahead and describe it now since I'm on the topic. How the strongholds are spawned when the world is generated is as follows. From the spawn point, there are 3 strongholds. They are all between, I think it's like 640 and 1200 blocks away from the spawn. And that's the actual portal itself. And the stronghold is then sort of formed around the portal. But, so it's a pretty good distance away, over half a kilometer. They are, if you're standing at the spawn, they will be in random directions, but the 3 of them will be in your whole 360 degree turn radius. If you just turned in place, they will be 120 degrees apart. So, if you drew lines to all 3 of them, they would make a nice, sort of a Y shape. So they're all sort of equally spaced as far as the angles they are away. And if you find one, then you kind of know where the other 2 are as far as the angles go. But once again, the distance is variable. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my spawn location. And, well, I guess I'm close enough in this case to make the map slightly, probably, I don't know, maybe 50 to 100 blocks away from my spawn location. But that's okay, because at least as long as I know where my spawn location is, and as long as my spawn location is where I throw up that first eye, then I will know the closest stronghold to the spawn point, which probably should be the closest stronghold to wherever I made the map, which in this case is back by my cobblestone pillar and the crafting table that I have back there. And then the trouble becomes going in that direction and finding the portal, and also determining what distance it is. Because again, you're talking between 600 and 1200. So you basically have to go out 900. And then you throw up your Ender Pearl. It's kind of like that Price is Right game where it's higher or lower. There's a range, and you just keep going. You keep splitting it in half, and then it's higher or lower. Well, okay, it's lower. Then you go half that distance back towards the spawn. And then you throw up the Eye of Ender again. And you can isolate it fairly quickly with a minimum of throws, and it makes sure that you waste as few Ender Pearls as possible. Or Eyes of Ender. I'm sorry, I probably have been saying Ender Pearls along the way. I apologize. I know that I'm thinking Eyes of Ender, and I'm saying the words Ender Pearls, so apologies for that. But anyway. So in my mind, that's the best way to use the minimum number of Eyes of Ender to locate the stronghold. And I've generally found it to be the case that I can get there with 2, maybe 3 in a bad situation, because unless you explore that area first, which I'm not going to have time to do, you never know if that area is a jungle. If it's a jungle, you're going to lose an Eye of Ender. There's just no 2 ways about it. If it's in the middle of the ocean, and the ocean is very deep at that point, that's really a bitch as well, because I'm not going to have a respiration, certainly not like Respiration 3. So, kind of playing the odds. I factor in about 3 Ender Pearls on average to find it, and that will give me a good chance of not standing at the last thing in the world I want is to get to that end portal and have 11 Eyes of Ender, only to find out that there are 12 open slots. If I do that, then I might as well just delete the game right there. Oh, I think I left some feathers back there. Oh, well. So anyway, using that sort of information about where the stronghold is and how to triangulate the location will help you substantially. So if you're interested in doing a speedrun, definitely check out the wiki, read through that entire section about how they spawn in and where they're located and how you find them. It's very important. And I guess, this probably falls into the category of metagaming. a little bit, but then again, speed runs are all about having intimate knowledge of the game and then exploiting that so that you can get through the game quickly. So definitely reading the wiki is perfectly within limits. Now, when you start getting into, again, maybe a texture pack that gives you an advantage, I wouldn't say that qualifies for me. I would say that's beyond the pale from where I'm standing, and that's just my opinion. But I will say that I didn't know the exact numbers on all that stuff, but I knew in general that these things were a certain degree of distance away. I've never found a stronghold with an end portal less than half a kilometer from the spawn point. So my own personal anecdotal observations are totally in line with that. So I have no reason to doubt the wiki on this one. And for that matter, looking up the rules of enchantment, and trying to figure out what enchantments I can get for 8 levels without any bookcases. You're not going to really be able to do that through trial and error. I love doing things through trial and error in the game. I love discovering the rules of a world, the mechanics of a game, the ways in which an immersive digital world works. I love doing that by trial and error, but some things you're not going to figure out at all. And this actually kind of leads into, there are many things about Minecraft that are simply not intuitive. They work just fine. I mean, they're interesting mechanics, and the code or the pseudocode of how they work is very interesting, but it's not the kind of thing you're going to be able to figure out just off the top of your head, just poking around. For that matter, who would ever build a nether portal if they hadn't heard about it from someone else or from the wiki? I mean, who's going to just randomly put a bunch of blocks of obsidian in the shape of a door and set it on fire? I mean, that's literally never going to happen unless you already know that this is something you need to do in order to move to the next stage of a game. So, Minecraft has some issues. I love this game, obviously, but Minecraft has some issues with regard to discoverability, I think. I mean, good usability always allows people, and particularly in computer games, allows the player to have sort of a breadcrumb trail to be able to help them to figure out some of the things that may be less intuitive. And I'm sure in later versions of the game they will add more of that. They kind of added a little bit of that with the Wither. They have actually a painting which shows you the sort of the recipe of how to build a Wither. Now, there's no real storyline reason to make a Wither, which is why it's not in this playthrough, and I don't know that I would even include it, because the guys at Mojang appear to have made it purely optional. I mean, the only reason to kill a Wither is to get a beacon. Get the crystal and make a beacon. And that's not necessary to finish the game and see the credits. So, yeah, I'll be interested to see how they weave that into the storyline and make that a more important part of the game. And for my money, the Wither's 10 times as difficult as the dragon. So, I don't even really think the dragon should be the end boss. I think, if anything, it should be the other way around. But again, that at least they gave you sort of a, hey, if you put up, and it's kind of, I mean, it's not terribly useful because who's going to put up every single possible painting, but at least it's there somewhere. I mean, you could look at that and go, oh, okay, I'm going to try that. Whereas with and again, something as simple as a portal to the nether, there's no way anyone would just stumble on that by accident. It just can't be done. So, Minecraft is a wonderful, wonderful bag of... It's like a bag of game mechanics. It's a bag of really cool stuff that may or may not be tightly related. I think it's actually fairly loosely related. I don't really get, potions and railroads. I don't know. Maybe kind of a steampunk thing would be the crossover there. I don't know, but and undead. So, I think it's great. I think it's really interesting, and I think Minecraft is so influential and so pervasive, and especially among very young kids these days, tweens and teenagers, that Minecraft is, I mean, let's put it this way. When those kids grow up, they can talk about what a creeper is, and most of the people that they're talking to of their age group would probably know what that term means. So it's going to be like, kids of my generation who grew up in the 80s talking about, Super Friends or something. It's going to be one of those cultural touchstones. And yet, people talk about Minecraft being a toy and being kind of like Legos, and I think that's part of it, but what really excites me about Minecraft is it really is an immersive world. It really is, I mean, everything you see can be manipulated. Everything you see has some behavior associated with it. Flowers can be uprooted and planted in other places. Grass can be smashed to get seeds so that you can grow things on your farm. I mean, there's something for everything. There's a reason this stuff's here. Now, I don't know that there's a holistic picture tying all this together. It seems like there are a lot of unrelated parts all kind of thrown together. And there's something kind of cool to that, but I'll be interested to see how they sort of bring it all together and make it sort of a tight game with an actual plot and a beginning, middle, and an end. It seems like that is part of the intention here. I don't really know. I hope they do that. I would find it very interesting. And actually, one of my projects in the future may be to try and figure out how do you string all this together into a narrative. I don't know that anyone's done that. Some people have written up text descriptions of what is Minecraft and where did the dragon come from and what is the history of this world and where are these villagers from. But I don't know on the official side whether there's been sort of from the game development side yet a real push to kind of pull it all together and make it a game that you can really play from beginning to end and sort of get it. Even if you have a narrative for Minecraft, would there be any point in making fireworks? Would that be story related somewhere along the lines, or would that just be one of those purely optional things? I think this is temple number 2. Found it in the second area of the desert. And as you can see here, I'm digging around the outside. The reason I got in the habit of doing this is one time I dug around one block in. I basically dug in the sandstone. And every once in a while, you'll lose a block of sandstone. It will fly out into the open center and fall on that goddamn pressure plate. So, don't do that. Especially if you're at the bottom. That would be bad. Better to make sure you're not going to set off the TNT. And that's something I only learned through trial and error. And I usually end up, for whatever reason, not having a bucket of water, which is kind of stupid. If you have a bucket of water, you can just poke out one of the corner walls and just use the water column to ride down. Won't hurt the chest, won't trip the pressure plate. You just got to make sure you don't touch the pressure plate by accident. So yeah, I mean, I think, and I plan on writing some blog articles about Minecraft and what it is. I think Minecraft is hugely, hugely important for the future of video games. I think it is going to be something that many, many other games reference back to and, pay homage to. Homage. But you also have to factor in that Minecraft is very much a game built by people raised on Nintendo. And I could be wrong about this, but I've heard some people, including game developers like Phil Fish, talk about this. Nintendo was a big thing. I grew up in the Atari 2600 days, and I've been playing video games since there were video games. I literally had a Pong machine, with two sticks and a square for a ball. And two paddles. But for those folks who came up during the Nintendo generation, They really had some interesting things going on. Not the least of which is that some of those Nintendo games really built on things that didn't work, from the Atari 2600 and various PC type games that came before that, and miscellaneous systems, Amiga, ColecoVision, stuff like that. But and then Minecraft, in my mind at least, is sort of built on the history of Nintendo games, and again, subsequent systems. But you can see in the interface to Minecraft, it is the UI of Minecraft is, for the most part, second to none. It is tits. It is really very intuitive, a very simple, elegant, and wonderful interface to the game. That's, people talk a lot about the gameplay, of course, but things as simple as just being able to start a new game. And, how cool is it to have a game where you have a create world button, and yet there's no complexity really to that at all. You have to understand a few basic things, and boom, you're off and running. The controls are very intuitive. The menus are very intuitive. So, not just in the gameplay, but also in the whole package. I mean, Minecraft is really sort of a crystallization of a couple decades of video games. And just taking sort of the most fun parts of it and making it as simple and as intuitive as possible. And again, the weak link there is clearly, where's the story? How do these things all connect together? But a lot of other aspects of Minecraft are absolutely wonderful. And just, if they haven't won Design Awards for their UI, then they really should. So again, I love the game. Certainly things I would think I could talk about as far as doing things better. I have some ideas as far as how to improve the dialogue for enchantments, for instance. I think that one's particularly frustrating, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I posted a suggestion on the subreddit for Minecraft suggestions, and it got buried underneath a bunch of other things about, add rabbits to the game or whatever. A million other thoughts about what things you could add to the game that aren't in the game. So a suggestion regarding fixing a UI element really didn't get much attention there, but my basic idea is to just make that thing a roller. If you have 8 levels and you can enchant up to 30 levels because you have all your bookcases, you should basically open up the interface and it should default to 8 levels. It shouldn't show you level 30 if you've only got 8 levels of experience. I mean, what's the point in that? And then you have to do the thing where you're trying to get a range of enchantments. So you start putting down torches or moving your bookcases with pistons. That's crazy. You should just be able to roll it. I mean, at the very least, roll it from 30 to 8. But I think it probably should default to 8 if that's all you've got to spend. And make it a roller like you see on mobile phones, like the iPhone. Have it so that, it defaults to 8 if you have 8 levels, and that's all you can spend, because that's what you're probably going to spend on the item you're putting in there. And if you want to dial it back down to 4, that's great. If you want to, you can't dial it up to 9 because 9's not a viable option, so that would be grayed out. But anyway, the general idea is have the enchantment interface be as good as the rest of the Minecraft interface, and make it be intuitive and make it anticipate what the player might like to do. So, but anyway, I do think Minecraft is a really cool sort of distillation of a lot of the best things that have happened in video games so far. And it's kind of really hard to nail it down because it is sort of just a big mixed bag of cool things, sort of a kitchen junk drawer of all sorts of cool stuff. And how does that all fit together, really? Sometimes it's a little fuzzy, but I think it has a lot of potential, and I think a lot of games are going to refer back to Minecraft. I mean, when games refer back and they have to make a ranged opponent, they're going to think of the skeleton. They're going to think, okay, well, here was the skeleton at the beginning of Minecraft, and here's how they changed the skeleton as they went along. Needless to say, an opponent that walks up to you and explodes is always going to be kind of a creeper in one way or another. So, anyway, so we are about an hour and a half into this, I believe. So I'm going to end the episode here, and we will continue moving forward, and I will make a map. All right, thanks for watching.